Hello, Pro Wrestling Weekly fans. Fearon here with you, and you know what that means. I've been preempted for high school sports, in this case high school football, but that means I bring you another webisode of Pro Wrestling Weekly. You get to see me as opposed to hear me. Yes, I have hair, which is different than the last time you saw me, if I remember right, going back to April or May when I was last preempted for high school baseball. Regardless, let's talk a little bit of Night of Champions, some news and notes. Take about 10 minutes. Should be a good time. Of course, Zack Ryder winning the 16-man Battle Royal. We finally found out how many and who was in it. And he earned a U.S. title shot. Of course, The Miz beat Cody Rhodes, Sin Cara, and Rey Mysterio to hold on to the Intercontinental Championship. I didn't get that one right. Daniel Bryan and Kane are your new tag team champions, and of course they hugged it out at the pay-per-view. Antonio Cesaro beating Zack Ryder to hold on to the U.S. title. Randy Orton beat Dolph Ziggler in what was the match of the night. And of course, Orton having a gesture and a few not-so-appropriate words for a cameraman at ringside during the match. Caitlyn, she was attacked in the back stage area, so Eve ended up taking her place, and Eve beat Layla to become the new Divas champion. Also, Sheamus beating Alberto Del Rio to hold on to the world title. Before the match, Booker T reinstated the Brogue Kick. And finally, CM Punk and John Cena, well, they fought to a double pin. That's right, the old German suplex. Both guys' shoulders are on the mat. Or maybe it was more of a belly-to-back suplex. But either way, a suplex, both guys' shoulders were on the mat. Double pin. It looked like Cena initially won, but they announced that Punk is still your WWE champion. And of course, Jerry Lawler not on the broadcast. He's recovering from the heart surgery and of course the heart attack that he had a couple of weeks ago. JBL filled in for him both at the pay-per-view on Monday night. JR was in there on Monday night as well for a three-man booth. Or three-man team. Something like that. SmackDown, well, you had the appearance of Edge in Philadelphia for SmackDown, which he helped put over the tag team champions, and that's pretty much the only big storyline going on SmackDown, as all of the efforts are put into Raw, and even then you've got about an hour's worth of filler thrown into the 3-hour program. TNA, well, Aces and Eights, they're talked about a little bit, but it looks like Austin Aries is at least teasing a heel turn as he's talking about the match being more about getting the notoriety that Jeff Hardy has. That's what Austin Aries wants. Kind of slowly leading toward a heel turn since they're both faces at the moment. I could see it going that way, but if they're going to have him heel by the pay-per-view, the clock is ticking. October 14th is only 3 weeks away. Math. Yes, 3 weeks away. So, not a lot of time necessarily. Updates on a couple various things. Lawler, he was released from the Montreal hospital this past Monday, and he's had a press conference since. His throat's a little raspy from all those tubes being down his throat, and his chest's hurting from having the compressions done in the CPR, but other than that, he's doing okay. John Cena debuting pink gear for the Susan G. Komen for the Cure Foundation, of course, raising money for breast cancer awareness. I'm totally on board with it, although it caused a little bit of controversy on the Facebook fan page. The rodent, of course, at it again, but after some heated contention, at this point he is on a probationary period. One more slip-up and he's done, as far as I'm concerned. Also, Cena out for the next 4 to 6 weeks, having surgery to remove bone chips in his elbow. He should be okay for Hell in a Cell, though, since it's 5 weeks from today. And, of course, Beth Phoenix has given notice to WWE officials, according to sources, that she'll be finished up with the company next month. That's going to do it for me. Figure it's been about 5 minutes, just a little bit to whet your appetite, but I'll be back on the air this coming Saturday. Usual time, 12:05, ending a little early, again, for high school sports. 12:45 is when I'll be signing off, and then the following week, October 6th, I'll have another webisode for you previewing... No pay-per-view to preview. We'll be previewing something. We'll be leading up toward, of course, Bound for Glory. October 13th, the day before Bound for Glory, full show in the works. The 20th, off, which means another webisode because of high school sports. And the 27th, I should be back on to preview Hell in a Cell. But that's obviously looking ahead. That's going to do it for me. I'll be back this Saturday. Until then, for Fearon, so long from Pro Wrestling Weekly.